Joyful Danish. Stay human. Is it even still possible to stay human? Maybe. It's not too late. Hello. Welcome back. I'm Joyful Danish. Daniel. I'm a psychomotor therapist. I work with the body and the mind dynamic, and I focus on improving health in tech, mainly in Web 3. But today's episode will also be including Web 2 in particular, because it's about two powerful nervous systems states. So you have one nervous system and two states, easy mode and hard mode. And both are useful, but in tech we often get stuck in fight mode, constantly chasing, stressing, or performing. And especially in Web 3, the balance between easy mode and hard mode, whether you're building smart contracts or debugging Web 2 backends, you're live on a spectrum between calm and chaos. And let's unpack what that means and how you can train your body, mind, and habits to work with yourself, not against yourself. So welcome, and let's see, what is easy mode and hard mode? And are you maybe already aware which kind of default mode you are tending to linger more towards? Easy mode isn't lazy. It's regenerative, open, and flexible state. And on that brings energy, creativity, and connection. It feels like a smooth workflow, a collaborative code sprint, or deep flow while designing. Hard mode, on the other hand, is fast, reactive, high effort, often stressful, sometimes necessary, like during a cyber attack, product crash, or you have to do a pitch about something. But if it becomes your default mode, it burns you out, disconnects you from your body, and makes you prone to panic, decision, and poor health. Just like the meme, with the guy that kind of looks like he's about to burst, and he just do the cutout movement. Yeah, it's too painful. Easy mode and hard mode both have their place. The key is awareness and recovery, and we're going to explore them on 3 levels, like I normally like to express, physically, psychologically, and behaviorally, with 10 practical steps of interventions that you could do individually or together, or how you seem it fit. So, physical signs and how you can practice it. So, on the easy mode, physical signs shows off has, for example, slow breath, steady heart rate, relaxed shoulders and jaw, comfortable digestions, so great toilet visits, normal skin tone and temperature, so you don't get a fever and so on, natural posture, and fluid movement. So everything in your body can kind of just move around naturally. And you might feel like that, or thinking, well, of course it does that. Isn't that normal? Well, yes, in the ideal state. But if you are much more tense and everything contracts in you and always like under pressure, that can actually kind of block certain flow of fluids and the functions in your body to not function as well as they normally would. So that shifts more over to the hard mode that shows in the physical body, where the signs can be here. You have a fast pace, and you have shallow breathing, and you talk very fast, You get sweaty hands, clencing fists. You want to control everything, subconsciously and maybe consciously as well. You're starting to feel tension in your neck and your back, and your eyes dilate its pupils, and your mouth start to feel more dry. You can also feel actually taste of iron and stuff like that if you're really stressed out as well. So that's really a sign that really is worth paying attention to and know how to act on. And restlessness in your body, or maybe the opposite, you feel like freezing, like the fight and flight response. Yeah, that's also another name for the hard mode. So what can you do then? 10 physical practice to rebalance that you could try on your own, and again, adopt and adapt in the way that you seem fit so it can work for you. So for example, when you work in your office, many people who work in tech tend to be here in front of the computer and forget their body. Yeah, but I do it afterwards, when when I go to surfing, then I will move my body. Right. But the 7-8 hours where you just kind of worked everything away, no movements. Well, maybe some of this can change today. So what you can do is trying to switch your posture around every hour. Either stand up if you have a lift table that you can adjust, or simply stand up sometimes just to actually get some movement and sit down. You could do like 1 or 2 lunges every hour. Or you can stand tall and roll your shoulders back, like you lift them upwards, and then on the next breath out, you move them backwards. Hold the tension, still breathing normally, and then on your next breath out, you move them directly downwards. And then you breathe. That's a great little exercise for your shoulder and neck that usually is a challenge for people who work in front of a computer. You can also box breathing before meetings. Inhale 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale and make that last for 4 seconds as well. And then hold it after you have exhaled 4 seconds. And then inhale 4 seconds, and then you repeat that that cycle maybe 1 or 2 times. Blink and gaze rest. It's not so healthy for your eyes actually to look at the screen for such a long time. And when it's such a short distance as well, it's actually very beneficial for your eyes to then look outside of the mirror, the mirror, the window, and if you have a mirror, but you gotta work with what you have, But I have actually a window here where you can see things far out in the distance. Then maybe look for around 20 seconds. Admire a tree or a bird, or some architecture or something. And that helps your muscles in your eyes to actually reactivate other muscles that normally, when you just stare at something that is short distance, then your eyes is activated in a different way compared to if you look at something further away. And cold and warm contrast. So for example, you can go out to the toilet, to the bathroom, and splash some cold water, and then warm your hands to recalibrate your nervous system. And it also kind of have this refreshing effect to it as well. You can also do stretches with intention. So for example, do a slow neck roll, and you can also do this with your wrist. And And you can also breathe while something loading, or processing. So for example, for Web3, use blockchain synchronization or test suits runs has brief triggers. So when there is small pauses during your work task, use that as an invitation to either stretch or sense your body. Does it need some water? Do you actually need to go to the bathroom? And now you have hold for like what? An hour? That's not really healthy. You should take action, of course, when it fits in the middle of a talk or a phone call. Well, maybe not, but maybe after the phone call then, And you can also use music. Alternate between ambient and energizing music based on your current mood. It can actually support you in both states, easy mode and hard mode. So if you need to have a little bit higher pace, then music can actually help you to support that. Or if you actually need to slow down, wire downwards, nature music or more relaxing music can be a great support for that too. And then refill your glass mindfully and breathe while you're pouring the water in your cup or bottle or whatever. All right. And psychological signs and thought patterns. Again, to just give some examples, because again, physical signs are a little bit more tangible, but when it comes to the mental, the psychological aspect, that can sometimes be a little bit of a different area. But easy mode psychologically can be your focus, it's broad, and you can better have an overview of what's going on. You are easily creatively thinking. You are easily to be self-reflective and actually stay in that process. Slow thoughts, give time to digest and think about what happened and how you are. Like checking in on yourself. Trust in timing, emotional spaciousness. You have easier to contain yourself, but also others. And you're curious and collaborative in your mindset as well. But when it comes to the hard mode, then racing thoughts, tunnel vision, and fight or flight decision making, and harsh self-judgment, or imposter syndrome, or hypervigilance to threats or competition, because it's all about survival, and either you're fighting or you're trying to flight as escape. And here's some of the signs that you can try to be aware of and try to catch yourself if you have some of these thoughts. For example, ask, is this thought supportive or critical? Mental gear shift before shifting task. I'm driving fully into this. Pre-code self-check. Ask, do I feel pressure or permission right now? Or is this thought actually an ally or an enemy to me? Does it just increase the pressure, or does it actually make me more supportive and relaxed in order to be able to do this? Because otherwise it can actually just increase your sort of like, you can say, your mental load, or like you get overwhelmed, right? And you can also break your worry loop if you're overthinking too much. Write one sentence. The worst that could happen is, okay. And you can even think about that, and then if you actually finish it, because often your thoughts will have like, yeah, and then that could happen, and then that could happen. Yeah. And what's next? What will happen after that? Well, then that will happen, and that could happen, and more. What will then happen? And then this, and yeah, I guess that's just it then. Okay, now you know. Now you are not in uncertainty, and your mind can calm down, and you can then reassure yourself that, well, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And visual anchoring. You can also place a calming image like a beach or a forest near your monitor. And you can also set an easy goal first to start your day, so you're guaranteed for success, and thereby your mind, your brain will actually reward you for that, and that can be used as a motivation to move forward. And if you are into affirmations, use the ones that you actually feel is real or could be true. For example, it's okay to move slow and still succeed. And you can also close the tab of judgment. You know, when you catch yourself replaying a mistake, visualize closing that browser tab, putting on pause, or simply take a paper and see that as one big parking spot for your thoughts, and to do things after your work is done, or you need to shop some groceries that you have to pick up before you go home, and you suddenly think about that, then write it down, and it has its own parking spot. It's a great way to pause your thoughts racing. All right. Behavioral signs, and again, action patterns that you can do. Easy mode in a behavioral aspect could be asking for help. You have easier to actually ask for help. And you can take breaks. You can even laugh and enjoy your workday. You have easier to delegate and co-create, and enjoying the process and celebrating the small wins. Where on the contrary, if you're in the hard mode, you're overworking, overcommitting, you're snapping at your colleagues, you're isolating, again, the tunnel vision. You're getting perfectionistic, and you're skipping meals or toilet breaks. And you're doom scrolling or obsessively checking stats or charts. So, if you, for example, set a hard mode timer, so like limit burst of intense work to 25 minutes, and then switch modes to a task that is more easy mode. So in that way you can shift in between and give yourself mentally and physically time to actually recharge from one task to another. You can also use Pomodoro technique. I'll add that in the description. But yeah, it's a great little technique and tool and method that many uses. And you can also say, I'll get back to you, and reclaim response time. You're not a human chatbot. Again, it's about how to stay human and actually be a little bit more compassionate towards yourself and your human experience, that, yeah, we are not robots and we are not perfect, but in that imperfection, we have to embrace what we have to deal with. And in that way, we actually get the best out of everything. Again, ideally, but again, even that can be a process, and that's okay too. Ask for micro support. Can I share something? I'm stuck with this for 3 minutes. Can you help me? Is there something I overlooked? Integrate pleasure with task. Good music, tea, or a fidget toy while working. Something that can increase your pleasure in what you're actually doing. Use humor strategically. Lighting the mood in tense team calls. Drop a compliment or an observation like that can kind of lighten the atmosphere. And then, by the end of your day, close the laptop and literally say, work is done. or do a certain action, like you clap your arms, or like, good, that was that. Breathe out, and you breathe out your work focus, and now it's home time, getting home, recharge, relax, get ready for a new day tomorrow. And for now, enjoy the rest of the day and have a good rest, And when it comes to like Web3 in particular, you're hunting a speculative airdrop. Everyone on Twitter is posting wallets. You feel your stomach tightening. You speed up, skip lunches, forget a meeting, and ape into something unverified. Classic hard mode hijack. So instead, you could pause and ask, is this mode useful and supportive right now? You exhale, check the project's Discord with fresh eyes, decide if you want to maybe dollar cost average instead of chasing hype. You re-enter easy mode with your sovereignty intact. Sovereignty. Yeah, that was a little bit a harder word. But I mean, the point is that you slow down, take your time to actually make a more wholesome decision in whatever you're doing. And balancing easy mode and hard mode isn't a one-time fix. It's a dance. It's a recalibration. Almost every day, and maybe even several times a day. One that starts with noticing, again, awareness. And that's where I work very much with body awareness. That, again, a little plug, a little commercial. We'll be right back after this commercial by me. That you can actually, for a limited time, book a free call with me and try out if I maybe could be supporting elements in your life to actually build you into your future version you would like to experience. And back to the show. Because one that start with noticing, and in crypto and tech space, we don't always get to choose what comes at us, but we do get to choose how we meet it. Again, how we react to it, and then how we're processing it, and how we maybe adjust the load of inputs so we don't get overwhelmed, and in that way gets very fatigued, and you can have like decisions fatigue. You take too many decisions during the day. That's actually another tip to the behavioral aspect. If you have certain tasks that this requires actually some important decision making, then move that forward earlier during the day, or at least in that time during the day where you feel like that's when I'm most sharpest, and then make those decisions there, because in that way you can actually make sharper decisions and not lacking of decision fatigue. So let's say that you have more mental tasks that needs more decisions earlier of the day, and then you still have tasks after afternoon, but that's more practical stuff and stuff that doesn't really need more decisions, but more like routine tasks that easily can be done without really thinking too much about it. So yeah, that's a little bit of a consideration right there as well. So I invite you today to practice one action from each layer and either adjust it or adopt it into your life. Try to practice to integrate it just a little bit. Start with something where you feel like, if it's just that, I could do that. That's a perfect way to start. So yeah, physically, psychological, and behavioral. And log how it affects your presence and performance. Or at least think about it before you go to bed. All right, how did it actually went today overall? Did I have a good day? What was supported? What was unsupported? and what was mainly in the state of easy mode or hard mode. So, thank you for listening to How to Stay Human in Tech. And if this resonated with you, you're welcome to reach out to me. And if you have any questions that you would like me to answer in future episodes, just write to me, JoyfulDanish@gmail.com. And again, you can follow me on different social media. It's Joyful Danish in one word. And share this if you have a friend that maybe could need some inspiration and could find this beneficial. And remember, easy mode isn't lazy. It's your nervous system whispering, "This way, friend." Stay human. See you next time. Joyful Danish. Stay human. Is it even still possible to stay human? Maybe it's not too late.